Perfect. And then share screen. Put in the comments, while I'm getting this pulled up, go ahead and put in the comments down there, hit the little chat button and let us know where you guys are from.
That's awesome.
Good way to
Thank you,
start.
Scott.
All right, you guys can see that? Someone give me a thumbs up if you can see the presentation. Awesome, cool. All right, well, introduction into Symmetry Financial Group. We're gonna blast through this and we'll leave some time at the end if anyone has any questions. First things up, why Symmetry? And you might be asking yourself that right now. Someone may have invited you to this call. So we're going to go through that. Why Symmetry? We have the ability to work for ourselves, but not by ourselves. Symmetry offers time and money freedom, which a lot of people preach about that. Not a lot of people actually offer that truly. We're a recession-proof industry. We'll talk more about that as well. But the last thing on the list is kind of the most important to me. We get to do work that's meaningful and impactful. We get to help put families in a better position. I don't know if everyone on the screen has life insurance or has a life insurance story, but we get to make impacts on families' lives through the work that we do. So I think that's super awesome and great. Going to the next one here. Got to get it queued up.
So we have an award-winning culture. We were voted top company culture by Entrepreneur for 2 consecutive years, ranked among the top 5,000 fastest growing companies for 6 years straight.
Perfect. Who is Symmetry Financial Group? Just a little bit about us. These 4 crazy cats decided to start a mortgage protection life insurance business right in the middle of a mortgage crisis in 2009. I don't know if you guys remember that time, but what a great time to start a mortgage protection life insurance business, right? But these guys are awesome. And Meredith, the realest owners you'll ever meet. These guys wear jeans on stage. They're not dressed up in pinstripe suits. They're easy to chat with, and they're extremely advanced in what they've built in this company. They've turned it from a mortgage protection company to a mortgage protection life insurance company into a tech company. So if you like high-tech stuff, you're definitely in the right place. But you'll get to know these people between Brandon, Brian, Casey, and Meredith. Just some genuine people running this company. So you'll really grow to fall in love with them too.
And Symmetry Financial Group is a subsidiary of Quility Insurance Holdings, which was also created by the founders. And like Scott said, we adore the founders, not just because they're so humble, but they're just full of integrity. And they also are just fast forward thinkers. They're always way ahead of the curve. And that was one of the many reasons. You're going to hear Scott and I talk a little bit about some of the reasons we loved coming on board, and that this company really just checked all the boxes for us. And one of them was the fact that they really, really started to focus on InsurTech. So some of you that are in the insurance industry, I think you're going to get real excited about what you're going to see here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I think they even established themselves as like a real tech company, which is exciting, right? 2023,
Right.
they pivoted after COVID to fully virtual. We get to help our clients out either over the phone or over Zoom. So we'll dive more into that. It's definitely changed a bit.
And then the core values, as far as core values, Scott, you can help me pick a couple, but I have to say when you all come on board and people want to get started with us, this is one of the first things that we send you is understanding what really matters to our founders, to all of us in the company, that for number one, for me, it's relationships matter. People come first. That's probably one of my favorite quotes from our founders that they're constantly always saying in every national call. Doing the right thing when no one's looking, that's so important when you're an agent and working, out there in the public with clients, as well as, if you have a team and you're an agency owner. And really being of service and doing good in the world. We talk a lot about, yes, some people come on, let's be real. We always joke and say, at first you come on because you get maybe attracted by the numbers and money that's possible here. But shortly after you're in, you start to really see the impact that we make on families by doing what we do.
Absolutely. I love the we act like owners because we own it. That one just hits home.
Yep.
a lot of different businesses like flash this opportunity in front of their people, and it's hard to follow up because you're giving away a piece of your company, right? And we just talked about how amazing these 4 founders are. They actually give away a piece of their company to whoever goes out and earns it. And it doesn't take 10 years to become an owner. It could take you 5 months. It could take you 6 months. It could take you 2 years, depending on your growth. But you get to own this thing for life. You could pass it on to your family. You could pass it on to your spouse. You could sell your business, or you can keep the cash flow rolling for a long time if you build it up the right way. So I really like that aspect. So for my business entrepreneur mindset of people on the call, you'll grow to like that as well. You actually get a piece of the pie. Let's go. All right, what we do. We got to talk about how we actually do this thing, G. All right, so what we do, we are protecting life's journey, and we do that a couple different way, guys. We do that through life insurance, through different health options, and through different wealth building options. So when you start with Symmetry, you're probably going to start with the basics, learn the ropes, and then you're going to add different things that you're able to help families with along the way. And some of those things are like term policies, whole life policies, policies that are indexed into the market that grow cash for people. There's different debt-free life policies that help our clients get out of debt quick. There's mortgage acceleration policies that help people pay off their debt quicker as well. So lots of different things, but really we start with the basics. We help you learn how to do that. And then there are so many different directions you could go here, with keeping the main focus of helping the family in front of you.
And we partner with over 50 top rated insurance company carriers. Another great thing I loved about our company is that unless they're A+ rated, Brandon and Casey will not work with a particular carrier. And we have such a great reputation with these carriers. Some of them we actually have proprietary relationships with, where we get some really great incentives that we'll talk about later as well. But some of our top carriers, I don't need to go through them, are listed here. We have several more, but these are pretty much the core ones that we work with.
Absolutely. And this is so important for our clients because you need credibility. If we're working with C and D rated companies, they're going to go Google search those companies and find out that they probably don't want to work with those people. So this gives you
Yeah, I
credibility.
just had a client call me tonight, Scott, who said he was an old client. He says, I have a policy with Nassau. He's like, and I saw they never answer the phone. He said, and I Googled them and they were 2 out of 5 stars. I said, hence the reason we aren't working with them, but we only work with A+ rated.
Yeah, I like to tell people that too, because it gives our clients peace of mind of who they're working with.
Right.
All right. What we do, is there a need for our products? Let's talk a little bit about that. There's 131 million households in the United States, where 7 out of 10 of those households have 2 incomes.
Oh, no,
What's that? All right, we'll keep rolling. If anyone has a question, throw it in the chat next time. We'd be happy to answer it. But getting back to that, out of those households,
guy means a lot to me, and we've been through a lot of battles together.
I'm going to go ahead and mute you out, Jamie. Sorry about that. 7 out of 10 of those households have 2 incomes, and 53% of foreclosures are caused by a death in the family. And that's a hard number to swallow. 25% of Americans have nothing saved for retirement. Okay, so if you add those two together, you got a really bad concoction. So that's where we step in, guys. That's where we step in to help. We fill the gap. We help people get protected when the worst things in life happens. Losing a family member is never easy. Having protection in place makes that pain a little bit easier on the financial side of things. And why now? That's a good question as well, because we just came out of a weird pandemic. A lot of our company went virtual, and you're thinking like, is this recession proof? Is this even pandemic proof? Well, the need for life insurance and the activity within the life insurance space actually went up the last couple of years. So it's a good time to be here, and it's only getting better. Oops. There we go.
So year after year, you guys can see, again, I don't need to go through each number and I won't, but just notice the trend. We increase every year, year after year after year in our production. We've done $5.8 billion in whole life products, 2.8 in term products. And our snapshot is we've done basically 1.5 billion in total premium. and 82 billion in face amount. That just means face amount, for those of you that are new, means death benefit. So we have enough policies out there that that equate to over $82 billion in death benefit.
Come on, there we go. All right, leads that produce results. So Symmetry invested over 46 million in 2022 into lead generation techniques. We get to reap the benefits of that now, a couple years later, with the most efficient and effective affordable leads in the industry. So through that, our subsidized lead program, there's over 700 families that have been protected to date. That number is not taken lightly. That has an impact. That has a ripple effect. So we're really proud of that. And like having the opportunity to have clients to sit in front of is going to do two things for your business here at Symmetry. It's going to help you connect more families and help more families. And it's also going to impact your bank account, right? Having more opportunities to sit in front of families means that you get financially impacted by that, and so do they. So great stuff here.
We have a proprietary sales system, marketing, recruiting support. We have a CRM for our leads as well. We have constant, just ongoing support, you guys, from one-on-one coaching, learning and development tools. We do weekly training calls. I love our weekly training calls. We have calls on Mondays with our base shops. We've got our national call done by the founders of the company every single Wednesday. So they are in it with us to win it every single week. And then Fridays, we have mindset calls. There's so many calls that you can be part of. So, you know, that's probably one of the questions I get from new people is, what kind of support can I expect here with the company? Not only are you going to be supported by the person who brought you on or the person closest to them who's an agency owner, but we have seriously some of the best leaders in the industry in our company. And we get to learn from them week after week after week.
Yeah, we're lucky. That's kind of what hooked me into coming into Symmetry, is watching the first national conference. And I sat there and I'm like, this is too good to be true. There's way too many good leaders in this company. I literally told Kate, my wife, I'm like, this is not real. I got to show you this video that I watched. So it was cool. But hey, G, I was going to add one more thing. We also have virtual offices. So if you don't like working alone, you can plug into a virtual office and sit on a screen like this and, you know, help your clients while you're sitting in a Zoom room with 20 or 30 other agents. So that's nice too. All right. Quility's industry leading InsurTech platform. Guys, this stuff doesn't make a ton of sense to you now, but the cool thing is that this company did establish themselves as a tech company. And so they're constantly trying to improve you getting in front of more families and helping more families. That's the number one goal, is how can we get our agents in front of more people, helping more people, and quicker. And so we do that through the technology like G was just talking about with our CRM and our switchboard platform. But you also see words like Summit on this screen. Summit is our onboarding and training program for new agents. You do all that online, gets you ready to be in the field. We've got Navigator. I'll just hit on that for 1 second. Navigator is like a all-in-one field underwriter. It takes a bunch of different policies, and through answering a series of questions, it kind of determines where you should go with that client. So if you're sitting there and you're like, man, how am I going to learn this stuff? Well, they're making it a lot easier on us now. So that's the cool part. And lots of more tech options for you guys once you get here. I won't dive into all of them, but definitely got tech options.
And just to kind of spin off what Scott said, just so many management tools. And I just love our switchboard because, again, for those of you that have ever been in sales before, or how do I keep myself organized? That's what switchboard will help you do. It'll allow you to not only, you know, track your clients, track your stats, track, you know, when you have appointments with people. It'll give you reminders. We have something also called Perform Dash, and that is on our HQ or back office platform that you'll get once you jump on board with us. You'll have access to that. So you'll be able to keep track of not only your business, but if you had a team or you're an agency owner, you're able to track everything on your team. So you're not the one that has to come up with all these Excel spreadsheets. And trust me, I used to have a chiropractic clinic and I was an Excel spreadsheet queen. So this for me is heaven because I like to be organized and I want to know my numbers, and we have all those tools to do that.
Yeah, it's not like starting a business from scratch with no help where you're like, I got to figure all these things out. Like those dashboards are extremely helpful. I love
Right.
it. So how we do it, there's, like we said on, I think it was 2 slides ago, there's Quality You and Summit. You as a brand new agent coming into this business, you're going to get supported through our onboarding platforms. You're going to go through Summit and Quality University. You're going to learn how to be an agent 101. Once you graduate from that, you can learn different levels of this business, like becoming a leader here, running a team, actually owning your own agency and growing your agency. And that's really cool because they don't just stop with becoming a new agent. They're going to teach you leadership skills, back office skills, like G was just talking about. We don't have to sit there and try to figure out the next Excel spreadsheet to do for our team. It's kind of already done for us. So lots of good stuff here.
And again, back to switchboard, we can kind of go past this, Scott. I kind of explained a little bit about the switchboard and what it can do. So we can maybe move past this one.
Yeah, and then
this
Navigator we talked about a little bit as well.
Yeah.
It's just kind of taking all those options for you and taking the guessing game out of things. So if you're sitting in front of a client, like say I'm helping Giovanna out and I'm asking her questions about her health and her season of life, it's in the background, it's underwriting that decision for you, and it's figuring out which company you should quote that client, which direction you should go with them, based on their answers. So gosh, when I came here to Symmetry, I didn't even know the difference between term and whole life. So I'll admit that.
You're not
But
alone, Scott. You're not alone. I think I took my test and came into insurance and still didn't know that.
for those of you who are studying for your test, I just memorized the answers. I didn't really memorize the content. So
I passed by the skin of my teeth.
yeah, so I'm glad that we have all these options because it helped me get smarter a lot quicker. And
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to do a lot of guessing to figure out where to go for your client. And then this is
And we have, go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say this is kind of the matrix table of all the different options that are included in that Navigator program. So, all right, back over to you.
And then our leads. So we, the industry's #1 lead platform, delivers a diverse mix of high content, compliant, and verified leads. And I wanted to read that because that makes such a difference for our company. Our leads, Symmetry generates 15,000 leads on a week on average weekly. We have 16 different lead types. I think that's the big question I get from people in the insurance space when they come and take a look at our company. You know, do you guys have final expense? Do you have mortgage protection? Guys, we even have, for those of you that are going to maybe love to, once you go through the basics and maybe kind of want to work into what we call our advanced market products. Those are for some safe money retirement options that you can learn as you grow. But we even have leads for individuals who are looking for safe money retirement options under the insurance umbrella where they can grow cash tax free. We do annuities, so there's even leads for that as well. So our subsidized lead programs does provide different options for every budget. Our goal, as they state, is really just to put you guys in front of as many families as possible. And trust me, the amount of people who are looking for this, and our only job is to figure out what they want and provide them options when you're an agent here with our company. So you don't have to spend your time really selling, or you're spending your time selling but not prospecting. And I know a lot of people I've spoke to, and maybe you have too, Scott, they kind of had to go out there and knock doors and go through their phone book. And and we aren't the type of company that tell you, hey, we want you to call every person in your phone book. You don't even have to. I think I've written one person in my family insurance, but everything else has come from the lead program.
Yeah, you don't have to bug all your friends and family. You don't have to be, people aren't going to look the other way when you walk into the family party. You don't have to do that. The thing that I love too is that I get to work with leads that filled out the request form 10 minutes ago.
Right. Exactly. Instant responses.
Yeah. So it's great. I'll talk about this one. This is kind of what sets us apart as a company from the back office. We have a client agent service called PCS. And it works with, it basically keeps your business in place. And it does a couple things other than that. They're going to find additional solutions to add to your clients that you've already worked with. And that could be additional solutions like G talked about, like income solutions or retirement planning. They're going to reach out to your clients and do policy reviews. They're going to make sure that those people are happy, that that business that you wrote, that you worked hard for, is staying on the books, and that those clients continue to stay protected. And yeah, you just don't get that at a lot of other companies. So it's really nice that we have that. I just got an email this morning from PCS, and they said, "Hey, your client missed a payment. Do you want us to reach out to him for you?" And I'm like, "Gosh,
Yeah.
I took ownership for it, but it was so nice that they emailed that, to me and let me know." All right. Symmetry business model. Let's get into the brass tacks of the business. I think I just lost my mouse here. There we go. All right. So we always start with this quadrant in this presentation, talking about the brass tacks of the business and what the opportunity is here to grow a business. And the reason is because there's a lot of people in our company who have made it to this fourth quadrant, where you're an investor and you're using your money and it's working for you and growing for you without you having to actually be the one selling the policies and doing the work on the day in and day out. But most of us start here on the upper left-hand corner, the employee side of it, right? We work a job, we get paid for the time that we work, and then we move into this symmetry role where we're self-employed, we're working for ourselves, and the amount of work you do determines your income. Okay. Upper right-hand side, business owner. Now you have, a business growing for you. The income is not 100% based on the work that you do, but by the team that you're building. I hope that makes sense, because it really kind of clicked for me when I started building a Team G, the amount of passive income that you can really make here. And it's incredible because you don't always have to be tied to selling policies. You can go on vacation and still make great money. Just don't go on vacation all year. That'll be tough. So there are people in our company in the lower right-hand corner that could probably go on vacation for a couple years, but that's kind of the goal of building your business here and building an agency, is that you have the opportunity to work yourself into the upper right-hand corner within your first year. That's for sure. All right.
And this is my favorite part. I know most of you came here like, okay, let's get to the nitty gritty. How do we get paid? So in insurance, for those of you that are brand new, there's a couple different ways that we get paid, or how we can get paid. We can produce business. What that means is we write on our own pen, not really with a pen and paper, because all of our applications. So when you sit down with a client, you go through their options. Obviously, this is all, things that we teach you along the way. But you go through options, they pick one, you submit an application right online, right through the computer, through that carrier's website. And you can get paid on that policy. And we get paid basically on what we call our first year's annual premium. So if the client is paying $100 a month, times 12, that's $1,200, and we get paid off of that $1,200. So we can make money by writing applications for families, but we can also make money on what we call our agency owner track, which is basically somebody who says, you know what, I'd love to write business, but I love coaching, I love teaching, I love, training. I'd love to have a team or an agency of my own. And that's how this is set up here. If you look at the screen on the far right, we have our producer track, and on the left, you have your owner track. So if you're someone that just says, hey, I don't want to be bothered with building anything, I just want to write some business, I want to make just $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $10,000 a month, you can do that just being a producer. And as you write business, you can go through the track, and we start off at an 80% comp level with Symmetry, and we go all the way to 130. So if you were to write $2,500 in business in your first or second month, you would move up to 85%. If you write and issue $5,000 in business, you'd move up to 90%, so on and so forth. So we do have our comp plan does go from 80 to 130. And then on the left, if you are writing with 2 or 3 other people, maybe that wanted to be part of the company and part of your team, they can help you move up through the owner track as well.
I like promotions.
All day, every day.
I saw this and I was like, Kate and I got to our kitchen table and got a napkin out and just started writing like, this is where we want to be. So you can kind of map that for yourself. You start at an 80, but you can be at the top of this company within a couple of years. All right.
Yep.
So let's talk about Slingshot
And so-
for a little bit. Go ahead,
Yep.
G.
So Slingshot basically is a program that Symmetry came up with that I absolutely love, because it can actually slingshot you from 80 to 95% in 3 months. For some of you that are maybe coming from an insurance background, or have the insurance background, worked with another company, most companies make you produce a certain amount of volume for 2 months before you get your next increase. Where here with Symmetry, they developed the Slingshot program that if you write and issue $5,000 in business in 1 month, you can move up to 85%. And if you do 7,500 and you can move up in 1 month, you can move up to then 90. And if you do 12,500 to 95%. So here's the awesome part, frosting on the cake, is not only do you make from the carriers your commission, but you also earn a 10% bonus from Symmetry. So not only are you getting paid from the carrier, but Symmetry as a company pays out the additional 10% of whatever you wrote. Guys, I will tell you, when they came on the national call last week or 2 weeks ago, they announced, I think in the month of November, they paid out over, I think it was $1 million, guys, in bonuses to the field. I don't know any other company that pays out that much of bonuses and rewards the people that are actually doing the work.
If you're planning on getting started soon, take a picture of this page. This is like,
yes,
I saw it as free money because Kate and I didn't know about the Slingshot bonus very clearly when we were new here. And my wife can produce some business. In her second month, she wrote a good amount, and all of a sudden we got like a random $2,300 check in the mail. It was a blessing because we didn't know about the Slingshot, but we figured out what it was real quick after that. So, cool.
You're like, why did this dump in my account?
I'm like, how can we do this again? It was actually a paper check, and I'm like, can you just put this, again and again for me? So we figured that out, and there's actually ways that you can grow that. New agents have the opportunity to make up to $25,000 in bonuses their first couple months, which is pretty incredible. So let's talk about how you get paid as an agent. I'm going to break this down. I'll try to be as clear as I possibly can because this part really matters, especially to someone who wants to grow an agency here. So if you're working part-time, 15 to 20 hours a week, that may be you sitting there thinking, I'm going to try to juggle this with my full-time job. That's okay. 15 to 20 hours a week, placing 6 sales per month, starting at an 80% contract level, like G was just talking about. You kind of start down there at the bottom. Our average case size per deal that you do, per family that you help, is around $1,200. Okay. The carriers will give you 75% of that commission in the beginning of the year. Usually you get paid a day or two after you write the policy. It's really nice.
You're on daily pay.
The other 25% gets paid at the end of the year if that policy is still in place. So we're going to kind of take that out of it. We'll get back to it when we get to the number in the bottom right-hand corner. But let's run the math, okay? So at $7,200 times a point, 80% commission, you're looking at $5,760 in commissions at a 75% advance, right? Because they're giving you 75% of it up front. They're holding the rest for the end of the year. Times your 12 months is going to be $51,840 in paid out commissions as a part-time agent. Okay. Once you get to the end of the year and the rest of those policies pay you out in month 10, 11, and 12, you made $69,120 in your first year. And that's just working part-time, and that's just helping 6 families a month. So if you're sitting there and you're like, I could help 6 families a month, well, jump in here with us. Let's do it. Right. Because it's not rocket science. It's just trying to figure out, when should I dive in and how much should I do up front? So we'll tell you guys, if you want to dive all the way in, there's a benefit to that. Okay. Just flip to the next page here. Let's talk about a full-time new agent. Okay. That full-time agent is going to work 35 to 40 hours a week. They're going to place between 15 and 20 sales a month. And by the time you're full-time, by the time you're doing this volume of business, you've worked your way up a few promotion levels. Remember, we really like promotions here. So at that 95% contract level, you're still at a $1,200 case size and you're still getting a 75% advance. So let's run the math. $18,000 in policies at a 95% commission rate equals $17,100. You get paid 75% of that up front times your 12 months is $153,900 in paid out commissions. At the end of the year, once those commissions pay out fully in month 10, 11, and 12, you made $205,000. It's good income. Okay. And we have people here in their second and third years, double and tripling this number. So guys, we're just giving you what's possible here on the screen, but just know we have people writing 60 to 100 policies a month in this business. It's incredible. So
Yeah, what was do you remember on the national board today, on the national call, what was the top #1 writer this past month? Was it like
he wrote 130,000 in 1 week.
130 guys, 130,000 in 1 week?
That's
Do the math.
That's an anomaly. That's not everyone in this business. So what
Right, it's not everyone,
we're showing you
but-
here is very realistic numbers.
Right.
But just know there's no lid on this business. There's no one telling you you can't go do more. So if you're a go-getter
right.
and you're listening to this, you can go get more. That's for sure. All right. I think this one's Eugene.
So yeah, so our exclusive agency ownership program, this one I love. I've been blessed enough to have a wonderful and amazing team, wonderful mentors who helped me achieve the agency owner status. It's really not that hard. I mean, if you're really working this business full time, I think Scott, you were able to do it in what, 7-8 months? I
Yep,
think you achieved
we hit there in
agency
6
owners.
months.
6 months, yeah. I think I did it in 7 months. But basically what agency owner program is Symmetry provides the agents with everything they need to build their own business. So remember we talked about earlier, like you can basically just produce and write business if that's what you want. There's no pressure to be to build your own agency. But for those of you that are like, hey, I'd love the opportunity to not only write business, but teach other people how to do it and benefit as well financially, then maybe agency owner is something that you want to take a look at. And Symmetry helps you through that process on how to become an agency owner and own your own agency through true contractual ownership. So you have the ability to earn both time and money with our system. And you can pass the business on that you've worked hard for. I mean, when you become an agency owner and have contractual ownership, you can give it to someone you love, you can will it, you can transfer it, you can sell it. We have the power to do that when we become agency owners. So as an agency builder, you make commissions every time you help another agent. So this is just a quick illustration of Sally on the screen. Sally is at 105%. And Sally hires someone who's at 80%. What we call the difference between 105% and her friend she brought with her, or someone she knew in insurance, or someone who didn't know about insurance, brought her on. She started making business happen. Sally earns a 25% spread off what that person who is at 80%. If she has someone at 85%, she's making a 20% spread. Someone at 90%, she's making 15%, so on and so forth. So the difference between your contract lover and your agents, that term we call is spread.
And to break that down for you, like if you're building a team and your agent, so they make $1,000 commission and you're at a 20% spread, you get a $200 commission for that, right? And obviously the gap will close as they grow in this business too, but that takes a lot of your mentorship and your help in this process. So you're getting paid really well for that. So let's break it down a little bit. I kind of like to give you guys the numbers, right? I want to see exactly like, what does this look like for me on paper? $15,000 in personal production. Let's just say Sally has a pretty good team. They're doing $15,000 in personal production. So she's doing that on her own pen, right? She's helping a few families out a month. Her whole agency over there on the right-hand side, they're doing 35,000 a month as an agency. And she has an average of 15% spread between all of her agents. Some of them are at 80, some of them are at 90, some of them are at 100, but her average is 15%. And she has a 75% carrier advance. So what does that look like? We'll break it down for you here. $15,000 a month. Sally's at 105% commission, 75% advance. So on her own, she's making 11,800 a month. Okay. With the agency's production doing 35,000 a month at an average of 15% spread, remember, because it's the difference between her contract level and everyone else's. She gets a 75% carry advance. She makes almost an extra $4,000 a month from overrides. Okay. So what does that look like over a year? It's a total of 15,750 times 12. She's making 189,000 at the beginning of the year. Months 10, 11, 12, when you add those commissions into it, she's making 252,000. Okay. Pretty good income. And guys, G and I just told you this is possible within your first 6 months here. You can get to this status pretty quickly. It depends on how quickly you move your feet. Some people, it takes a couple years, and that's okay. But if you decide to build an agency from day one, you could get there pretty quickly too. I think this one's me. Sorry, G. All right, so I'll go for it. I lost track of where we were going with every other here. But let's talk about like as you're growing in this company, okay? Because you get to a point where your agency's growing pretty quickly. You got a bunch of people coming on board, and then you have other team members underneath you that are recruiting. You'll get to a place where you get to be promoted to an executive vice president, okay? So let's just take the example of a $500,000 agency. At that point, you're pretty much in that upper right-hand quadrant, if not peeking into the lower right-hand quadrant that we talked about earlier. You're doing zero in personal production. At this point, you're running an organization. You have an agency. You have a staff members. You have people that are selling policies every day that need your help. So let's talk about that $500,000 agency. If you had an average of 15% spread on that agency and a 75% carrier advance, let's see here. This is what it would look like as far as income. So you guys can see the potential there to really make a massive income here. Okay. So that looks like $900,000 at the end of the year for an executive vice president. G, do you know how many EVPs we have within Symmetry?
Gosh, I don't even know. I mean, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Oh, Mickey said 7. 7? Yeah, he said 7. I thought it was 10, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Cool. I love it. But it gives you guys a good picture to paint here. And then, executive vice president with a profit share. So this is what happens when you reach that level. You're also going to get equity in the company. They're going to give you a profit share, and the annual bonus on top of your average income is going to be about 228,000. So though at that level, you have the income of 1.128 million. And like I said, you're in that lower right-hand quadrant. You're not really hammering the nail anymore. Your income is not tied to your feet. You get to use time and money freedom. So really incredible opportunity.
Not to mention, do we get paid from the carriers? We get paid but different types of bonuses from Symmetry. And I love the capital bonus. It's one of my favorite bonuses. This helps to a bonus for people that are agency owners based on their growth and production of what we call their base shop. And when we use the words base shop, that just means you're helping new agents coming in, getting them started, helping them write applications. And just from that capital bonus alone, you can add up to you can add from 500 to 3,500 a month just to invest back in your business. There's our equity bonus. We have our producer bonuses. We even have our bird dog bonus. I like this one a lot because, you know, if you know anybody that's maybe owns a little insurance agency down the street in your local area, and they don't carry some of the products that we have, you can link them up with our corporate office, and they may want to use one of our proprietary carriers and products. And if that insurance agency uses that product, then you get paid from it just for an introduction to someone at corporate. So anything that they write out of that agency using that product, you get a bonus from. So any of your favorites, Scott?
I don't know. Raise your hand if you like bonuses. This company's like looking for opportunities to get them out. I'm serious. Like as a new agent, I'm just like, guys, check out how much extra free money is available for you. Because as you grow in this company, I mean that brand new agent bonus goes away. So it's an opportunity, like I said, in your first 90 days to make an extra 25 grand. Man, that would help set your business up really well for the future. Also, raise your hand if you want an extra 25 grand your first 30 days or first 90 days. I know I do, right? I want that for all of my agents. It's just out there for them to go get. So, I like the 130 bonus. I think that's kind of
Yes.
one of my favorite on the screen. Uh, you guys will hear a lot once you start here that it is a leadership development company with a really, really good comp plan. And it's so true because, you know, there's so many great leaders in this company to learn from. And once you have other leaders on your team that are producing at a 130 contract, the bonuses get even better and you get further in that lower right hand quadrant that we talked about earlier, where you're getting to use that extra income and reinvest it into your business and all the other things that you want to do in life. So it's great stuff. We got a couple more slides here, guys. A couple things that Symmetry offers for you. They're going to offer you a free policy. There's a My Health policy. There's even some dental options, just a few extra things. We don't offer like a full-on healthcare program or medical program for you. But the cool thing is that no other insurance agencies offer really anything for a 1099 employee. So the fact that Symmetry has a few options is great. I know Kate and I, my wife and I, we signed up for our free policy for our first year. That was nice. So yeah.
And I use the health policy. My family and I signed up and we have the health insurance, the medical, the dental, vision. Yep.
I did not know that. That's
So
great. Very cool. G, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, so I said I wanted to talk about this because I'm so excited. They have so many new places coming out for 2025 as well. As you guys can see, some of our carriers, as along with Symmetry, and some of our carriers host incentive trips. So all expense paid. This isn't just like, hey, you get the flight and that's it. Like they seriously roll out the red carpet on these trips. I mean, they have trips going to Costa Rica, Cabo San Lucas, Cancun. We just got an announcement last week. I screenshot every single one of them. They added on like 6 new locations where we can run for. And that is Taormina, Italy, Madeira, Spain. I think even in Jackson, Wyoming, Canada. There's like 4 or 5 other places, the West Indies, that they're adding to the list. So not only does Symmetry take care of us, you guys, for all these bonuses, you know, giving our insurance, life insurance free the first year, providing all these perks and benefits, but I mean, to be able to just run for these trips, it's something that they give us. And it's just such a blessing, and knowing that we can all work, and as much work as we put in, we can achieve one of these, dependent upon the carrier's like outlines and guidelines for how much business to write. But we have that availability here to be spoiled and treated like royalty on these trips from Symmetry and our carriers.
If you get really good here, you're gonna have to turn some of these trips down because it's like a balance of like, man, I need to focus on my business and I got offered another trip. So
can I really make 3 trips next year?
yeah, so great stuff, guys. We're coming to an end here. I've got a couple things left for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this screen share if I can. Let me open this back up full screen so I can see all your faces. A couple things here. So what are our next steps? You know, I saw something that interested me on this slideshow. Scott and G they're right up my alley. They're my type of people. I'm just kidding. You do not have to agree with that. If you want to take next steps, it's very, very simple. Whoever invited you to this call, just shoot them a text or give them a call after this and say, hey, I'm ready to take next steps. They know what to do. They invited you here for a reason. So that would be the first thing. G and I are very happy to have you guys on this call, and thank everyone for staying on the whole time. And I hope that this was impactful for you. The second thing that I have is I just want to open it up to a question and answer. G and I have the next 10 minutes to answer anyone's questions. We want to get to meet you. Kind of, you guys can either ask something in the chat that we'll answer out loud, or you can unmute and introduce yourself and we'll answer your question live. So let's just kick it off there, and whoever wants to unmute or ask a question first, we can go through that. We'll be on until 8 o'clock Eastern on the dot.
Or if anyone wants to introduce themselves and tell us where they're from and be bold. And after watching that, what has you excited?
Yeah, I'd love to hear that too.
Yeah. Silence. Come on, someone has to have a question.
I got a question.
Ralph, I see you laughing there. I know you got a question, Ralph. You're brand new.
I got a question. So you had mentioned like the technology aspect of it. Like, how has that changed your guys' business from the way it was done before to now? Like, has it improved it? Like, what's the scale on that?
Pre-COVID, they were meeting families at their kitchen tables in their houses and writing paper, like taking paper applications and mailing those into the carrier, waiting for the carrier to get the policy. And then if there was anything messed up, like the wrong spelling of a name, they had to go do it all over again. Talk about gas, driving time, all that stuff. Now, guys, this is insane. I can talk to a client for 15 minutes or less, have the policy fully underwritten and signed and in their inbox and get paid the next day. So I can't even like explain all the tech that goes into that, but it fast forwards the process by a lot. I mean, G, do you have anything
Can I just say that insurance, Scott, do you agree? I mean, you've done so many things like myself. It is, and this isn't just a selling, this is the absolute truth about the industry. There is nothing more lucrative out there. I mean, not only do we get to serve our clients and help them be protected and their families, because it is about service and we feel like we have purpose here. I never thought that insurance would be something that I would be passionate about. And like Scott said, when I came into this industry personally, I was like, I don't want to leave home. For those of you that are parents, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, like I knew that I could do this without having to go into people's houses and virtually work. And with all these technical platforms, it's so much easier for us today to be able to make a full-time business out of this right from our office. And that doesn't mean that means sometimes you may work 8 hours a day. Maybe one day you have the freedom to work 2 or 3 hours the following day. And then, you just, the beauty of being able to work virtual and have Symmetry literally set everything up for us from our CRM to our applications to, like Scott said, like the process is so simple as far as like that it's all done for us. We just have to basically talk to people and we can do it all electronically from our home office.
I've had so many different types, like being at a sales manager at a dealership to selling memberships at a gym. I've had so many different types of CRMs. This is the absolute best one. But something you mentioned kind of hit home for me. I always say like Symmetry found me. I didn't find Symmetry. So I think that was the cool exchange, because when Symmetry found me, it found me in a place where I was working 70 hours a week inside the dealership. And I was newly married. I did not want to be stuck inside those four walls for the rest of my life. And so I was like, man, I got to find a way to not do that. And Symmetry provided that. So any other questions for you guys?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment about the guy who just asked the question.
Yeah.
Congratulations, John Storm, for achieving your next contract level.
There you go. There we go. And then I also got a comment in the chat here. I'm not sure if it was to everyone, but I got it as a direct message. It said, how long does it take you to complete the company training? That's up to you. I've had agents knock out Summit in their first day. I've had some people take about 2 to 3 weeks to get through it. But from the point that you are right now, if you're not licensed, you're going to get licensed, and then you're going to complete Summit training, and then you're going to complete a little bit of field training. All of that with contracting takes about a month. So, study quick. I always like to tell my agents to take their test 7 days after they start studying for it, but it took me 4 months to take my test, so I'm a little bit different. All
I
right.
think Jamie was one of the fastest test takers. I think she did it in like a week. She studied, got her test in 1 week. Maybe 10 days max, I think it was. So it's possible.
It was 10 days.
There we go. See?
Yeah, that was the same about for me too. It was like 7 to 10 days. So it is possible to get licensed pretty quick.
Took me 4 months and a couple tries on the test. So, but we turned out all right. Any other questions from you guys before we hop off here? We got about 4 minutes.
I have a question I'm not sure you know the answer to.
Yeah. Hey, Laura.
Hey, I'm already licensed and with a company that I'm not too happy with.
Welcome home.
Yeah, do I
Yes.
have to get contracted with them or with who I'm contracted to produce through, can they just be transferred over? Like, do I have to let them know that I'm leaving?
G, do you
I
want?
haven't.
Hey, I
Hey.
know. Hey, Laura, I have that answer for you. I got it from admin, so I have it in an email for you. I got you covered.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm guessing Sarah
Okay.
invited you, but quick
Yeah.
answer to that is we can transfer them. Yeah, that's the quick.
Yes, we can transfer them. Yes, you're right.
All right,
Thanks for be-
thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Hope it works out well for you. Anyone?
Welcome.
Anybody else have a question?
Okay, real quick. How
Katie.
successful are people who do not have a sales background usually at this?
Good question. Good
I-
question.
Can I take that? 'Cause I lived in Alaska and I am pretty sure that I couldn't have sold firewood to an Eskimo for a moment in time. And I will tell you, when you hear people say it takes, there's a learning curve. Yes, but it's less than 90 days, right at 90 days, and it is clicking. It's clicking. So the answer to that is, as quick as you want to make your learning curve, you can get it. The support that you see on the screen is undeniable. There's not a company that I have worked in for the last, I won't say how long that I have been in the workforce, but there's not a company that has ever given me this kind of coaching, training, and support.
Yeah.
So the learning curve can be shortened. There are scripts that you have every tool in the world to offer you, and you can do it. It's easy. I mean, and I say easy in the term of it's the learning curve can be easy if you put in the time.
Yeah. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. We have nurses on our team. We have teachers. We have people with 0 sales experience. Yeah, Sarah, just raise your hand. Like one of the best examples in the last 3 years is Jamie Susu's agency. She went from being a nurse to making $1 million in her 3rd year. I mean, not everyone takes off that quick, but you can come in here and make a difference in your income in your 1st year. So all that training and all that support, it's not fake. There are people here that want to get you up to speed real quick, right? You guys saw the override program. Whoever brings you in benefits for you getting up to speed quicker. The more policies you sell, the more it blesses their family and their income. So everyone's in it to help you win it. That's for sure. All right, we'll take
Heather's getting excited.
one more question, G.
Yeah, let's take one more question. I was shouting out to a nurse on here who's getting started as well.
Shout out to the nurses and teachers. It's actually easier to teach someone with no sales experience how to do this. If they've got
Yes.
all that mucky background sales experience, I'm like, discard what you know, listen to this. This is the new way to do
Right.
it. So you're also better off.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
Thank you guys for being on. We are so excited. Thank you for being here with us. Let's
All
go.
Reach out to the person who invited you.